Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. And I got something nice for you today, so I'm excited. So let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where I'm going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. Oh, I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. George had a phrase, right thinkers, let's talk about redemption is changing your wrong ways to the right way. But George had a phrase, free your mind and your ass will follow. Redemption seems a lot like that. So let's talk about that. Why? Because change, aka freeing your mind, and your life will change with what? I'm about to tell you. My God. Right thinker philosophy. Right thinkers. Happiness can be yours. Yeah, like my man from The Price is Right. Oh, the first door can be yours on the conditions that what? You are willing to put in the work for it by what? Practicing, pay attention right here, the art of self-development. That's the key of right thinking philosophy and the purpose to do just that. It does not matter what crime or what sin you have committed. Don't care anything about that. The light of wisdom and the practices of purification, which is the right thing to teach you do. 42 confess to my art. You purify yourself to be the best. And that can bring about what? A transformation in your consciousness of any human being. I mean, it can change your life. That's the purpose and the goal of it. And this is called, you ready? Bathing in the liqueur of my yacht. I just bathe in it. Why? I live it. I love it. I ooze it. Why? Because I practice it daily. From the lower self, where I started, you can move up to your higher self. That's where I am now. And my goal is to have every right thinker. I just told you about Masonic knowledge. They take a rough action. That means an ignorant person to Masonic self-knowledge. And they bring you in and they teach you. And when you get done, you polish up nice and shiny and you're good to go. Love that concept. Didn't have a clue about what I'm doing now, but it's the same thing. Okay, esoteric lessons that you can learn and live by. Simple as that. I was a good Mason because I lived in tenants, so I know I ended up being a teacher and a worship master. So the man who studied, the man who put the work in, should be the man who called the shots. I was that man. Moving on. So I understand the science. Here we go. Remember, the heart conscious is spelled CONSCIEN. So CE, it means it's been proven. The science begins with what? Your personal understanding and your personal forgiveness of who? Yourself. I'm not going to beat myself up about that nonsense I did back then. I paid for that. Done deal. Moving on. Okay? You should do the same. And then what? The intensive process will start for introspection, and you start to have realization of what? The truth. through what? Building your life based on, you ready? Order, truth, and justice. If you put those things in your daily life, you won't do a whole lot of other things. That's the point. Where we at? Okay. So without these things, misery in life stems from, you ready? Ignorance of those things, of one's true nature. Human beings acting like human beings are like kings and queens who are what? Wandering around the countryside as beggars. What they said is with lack of knowledge, not knowing thyself, you just begging when you really are what? God and goddesses, aka kings and queens. Good concept, good metaphor. But that's the whole idea. You can either be a king or queen, or you can be a beggar. Why? If you don't know yourself, you're the beggar. When you get enlightenment, knowing thyself, you become a king and queen. Moving on. And knowing their true identity is knowing thyself. But the act as beggars, ignorance. Treat others unkindly, ignorance. Indulge in hatred and anger of others, more ignorance. You know people like that? They are frustrated, getting close, ain't it? To their conditions in life and don't know what to do about it. Ding, 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 ding. If you are chasing your tail, so to speak, going nowhere, you need to make a change. I got you. So they can go from what? From day to day, what? Wasting life away. Not figuring it out, not knowing themselves, and can't figure out why. That's why we're here. That's what I do for you. You may be unaware, and most of us are what? Of your own talents and your capacity to what? Love yourself first and then others. If you don't have love for you, and like what girl said, I love me some me. You better, that's the first thing where love starts. So you have come to a state which what has led you to experience what? The degradation and loss of your spiritual and physical freedom. You become a slave to the system, slave to your own ignorant self, your ego self. He's running the show. That's never good. But it's going on a high rate, like this other nonsense that's going on. But my goal is to teach a philosophy that you could use. I'm sticking in my leg. But watch this. Now in life, you search for what? Excitement, fulfillment of what? Your physical desires through what? Your worldly relationships. You got to have a pretty girl. You got all that. You going through the motions. Watch this. But entertaining yourself with what? The media. No, that's the worst. Well, everybody do it. These are things that you're going through your life, and we live this. And you might even start using drugs or even alcohol, or by acquiring, here you go, objects such as what? New car, fancy clothes, big house, trips, all those things that people do to let you know, the pious attitude. Okay, but if you work and have worked and retired and your situation of finance is good, enjoy it. It's yours. I ain't got no problem with that. I love that. But they're saying if you doing those things and don't have you, watch this, that you think will make, all these things you think will make you happy, if that's what you're doing it for, then in the end, you will still be unhappy. Why? Because you don't know yourself. You do these things. Why? Because you have been taught that this is the way to pursue happiness. Having a big house, pretty wife, nice fancy car, that's happiness. No, it ain't. I know some guys with that and they catching hell. Okay, so, but have any of these things ever brought you true happiness and true and lasting happiness, and peace of mind? That fancy trip, the big house, do you have peace of mind? If you have those things, that's the goal. Then you're doing what you need to do. God bless you. But in order to be truly happy, here you go, you must unleash your spirit within. Release the dragon and say, okay, you are the one. Again, everything is you. You are the one responsible for your own conditions. When it's good, you did good work. If it's bad, you didn't do good enough work. Simple as that. So don't blame nobody else. But watch this. Because your past actions, based on your ignorance of yourself, will put you in that predicament. Luckily, you're not behind bars. So behind bars, you can't do nothing but think about it and wait till they free you. Okay, so don't waste that time. Do it while you're free. You're able to get up and do what you need to do. So therefore, do not waste any more time blaming others or by seeking to find explanations in society. Really, those are the last ones you want to get advice from, or other what external causes. Happiness ain't about outside yourself. Watch this. And the wonderful thing, here we go, is that you are always the one. You are always the one who, what? By your actions. Illumined by what? The light of what? Wisdom. Once you change your life over in action of what? Mayat. Now you can change your life. I got a lesson coming up. Practicing Mayat can change your life. What? It did mine. That's what changed mine. Right there. Right here. I got to read this again. I read this in my last lesson. I might want to keep this around. Why? The ancient Egyptians prescribed one solution to all life's problems. Get out. Yeah, they built an entire civilization based on this precept. Ooh, what is it? What is it? And the legacy of that precept lives on up to this very day. Oh, you got to know what this is. Oh, tell me. You know. We don't know. The solution to this problem, to life's problem, all life's problem. You ready? Know thyself. Boom. Through what? Self-knowledge, mastery. All of the misconceptions, when you do this, all the misconceptions of the mind, misinterpretations, which have led to what? You to degraded states and erroneous thoughts. And it led to conflict and total misunderstandings are washed away. You have a clear mind. You have understanding of self. You have knowledge of what? Self. That's what you need to do. Control self. Everything else will take care of self. Why? Through self-knowledge, one discovers what? The supreme happiness, which comes from what? Inner contentment. Not outer, not physical, not monetary. Inner contentment. Watch this. And peace, which cannot come from external objects or any relationships in the physical world. Not even your mate. Don't make a difference. Trust me on that one. Okay? And that's what's important. That self-knowledge. Knowing you did your job. Why? That's the ticket to home. Your interest in listening to me and reading this book indicates what to me that you have what at least begin to recognize that there is a higher goal in life. I'm starting to realize, yeah, I gotta go. Hello, there you go. That goal to know thyself. For you, there's a goal in life for you other than what your current experience or your past experience. You can make it better. And this is what? A blessing. Why? Because most people, you ready, are not even able to see what the misery of their own condition, meaning fetters, stuff that they cause themselves. They don't see it that way. They blame everybody but why and what happened. And then choose to do something about it. How could you fix something you don't know is broke? That's why lack of knowledge, ignorance, they don't know. But most people are caught up in what? The web of illusions and negativity they would have woven in their own minds, and they go on what? Like robots. From the miserable situation, from one miserable situation to another. Relationship to relationship. Bad things to bad things. They just keep chasing the same stuff. You attract what you are. Until you get better, you're going to continue that trend. Trust me, this is what it's all about. Trying to enlighten you to who? You. Your task in life is to follow up on the stuff that you learn from the book, the stuff that you hear from me, and you study on the teachings and what happened. And you begin practicing them when? In your life right now. And then daily. And what happened? You develop a relationship with what? Your inner higher self. Ooh, yeah, that's where meditation comes in at. You know your lower self. This is who you are. You got to mentally, consciously get in touch with your higher self. That's the purpose of meditation, not just praying. And you reach your higher self, and what you discover that the strength, you discover the strength to what? Overcome your life failings. Pick yourself up, get back in the race. Everyone, they say, oh, the Satan, but the sinner who what? Fell down and got up. Get up. Everyone is a child of the divine. We keep saying that. Everybody say it. Everybody say it, but why we treat each other the way we do? So don't keep telling me we all sons of, no, adapt that. Until you start acting that way, don't say it. But watch this. We're all child of divine. As such, everyone is capable, there you go, of supreme good. Son and Bonham. You strive to do what? Reach the supreme good in yourself to their level of awareness in what? Their true self. When you do that, you find God. He's out there, he's into it. And there is no fanatical or magical way to what? To self-development, aka knowledge of self, to know thyself, except what? To learn and master the science of what? Self-knowledge, aka right thinking philosophy, and to then apply the teachings, ding, 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 and practice the exercise for spiritual enlightenment, and gradually incorporating them in what? Your daily life. Spiritual evolution is not a continuously upward movement. Why? Because you will have some ups and downs in your daily regular life. But when you begin to practice and you get better, sometimes you will not be able to follow the teachings because whatever's going on in your life, you overcome them by your what? By established, excuse me, where you at? You will not be able to follow the teachings because you are overcome again by what? You establish negative ways, you backslide and you're going the wrong way. In the rabbit hole of spiritual enlightenment, there's no back, only forward. When you go to the rabbit hole, the door closes and there ain't no going back. So you gotta see this thing through, okay? But if you are sincere, you do what? You press on in time, and you will now discover the source of your inner strength within oneself. Self-development is an inner attainment. Again, self. It is revealed in what? Your level of peace and oneness with what? The universe. Not running around here, oh God, break the law. Yeah, all that nonsense. No. And watch this. And your level of joy and peace with this oneness and the universe. And what happens? Your joy, peace, and love for what? You will have joy, peace, and love for humanity. I'm doing this for humanity again. Not in the level of what? Callousness, egoistic selfishness, or apathy towards others and the possessions that you have earned. You seem to have in the status. I tell you, when you got all the money cure a lot of ills. This is deodorant cover up a lot of odor. But a lot of times, that don't get it done. Why? Because in the end, you still don't have knowledge of self, so you're not going to be happy with all the stuff that you got eventually. Trust me. And if you're worrying about your status, according to others, I don't care what my neighbors do or don't do, have or don't have. That's least of my concern. But many, watch this, many people confuse the word apathy, meaning they don't care about nobody but themselves. Yeah, true. Yeah, most of y'all. Or being what? Uncaring toward others as what? Peace. They got theirs. They don't give a damn about you. But watch this. But these are intense forms of selflessness and hard-heartedness. You just mad, and they all masquerade what? As peace, and are in reality what? Forms of true unrest and inner pain, which reaches what? To their very soul. Have you ever committed a crime? Everybody done something wrong. Watch this. Do you feel guilty? Okay. Do you feel suffering is your lot of life? Do you feel like I'm living here just to suffer? But you causing all the suffering on yourself. And do you feel like what? An unsavable sinner? Who would feel that bad about themselves? What's a sinner? First of all, in archery, it means to miss the mark. In life, it means to edge God out, aka ego. Watch this. And can a sin be redeemed? Oh, you're going to pay for it. Why? Can the soul truly be born again? The soul never dies, but you become conscious of oneself. That's the newborn. You ain't going to be born again physically. You're born again in the knowledge of self. And what is a convict? Somebody who committed crime and got locked up. And there is redemption. Why? You're going to pay for that. That's what the whole Lord tells you to sit you down and pay for your transgressions, break the law. But watch this. But not perhaps as you may think. You cannot just say you are born again, go to church and put your hand up and shout hallelujah and all is forgiven. The errors of your life are not erased that way. It's a thing called karma. And nor can the errors of life be wiped away in what? In an instant, just by being sure and repentant. Exuberant types of religious practices, here we go, that is practices that are full of what? Unrestrained enthusiasm. They speak in tongues, historical and lavish extravagance. High rollers, holy rollers, Pentecostals, all them guys are all just what? Pretty much just a band-aid on a wound that really needs what? Operation and stitches. Better quality care. That's why, watch this. The benefits are what? From doing the religious thing turns in that stress release, but the cause of the problem, the spiritual emptiness, ignorance, is not resolved by the such limited practice of religions. Ding, 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 ding. They're only going to get you so far. If they took God out of you, how much do they want you to be God or get with God? They want you chasing them, proverbial carrot. Moving on, I ain't got the time. That's the belief system. But watch this. However, repentance can be the first step to what? First step, and then there must be a what? Serious work on oneself to remove the error. Nobody can take away what you did but you, and that led to the what? The sin turning away from God. Again, in your actions. You the devil. When you ain't doing the right thing, you're doing the wrong thing. It's simple. It's just that simple. Well, you perfect? No, but doing the right thing over the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm better than you. Why? I don't commit the wrong things no more. I used to. I changed. That's the difference. And I'm serious about that. Only then what? Can there be true redemption and change and forgiveness for oneself. You have to take care of you. And spiritual enlightenment is abiding happiness, and it leads to immortality. And I'm looking at the clock, but I'm going to keep going. I got some more. I'm almost done. But the dictionary defines convict right quick as what? As a person who found guilty of a crime, yeah, especially when serving a prison sentence. That is your penance for the crime you committed according to the law. But you had to deal with yourself. And such guilt or a prison sentence is part of one's external existence. You break the law, you got to serve the time. You can do the time, don't commit a crime. Why? Because you might have to do some time. It is a permanent blot on one's soul, which will send one to hell. Why? Forever. Whoa! The wisdom of she taught Netta, that's what I learned, and semi-taught we, what I mastered, has taught for thousands of years what? That the soul is innately divine and has a possibility to always evolve and to discover what its own higher reality, which is external in the physical world, and to reach the pure and the supreme self, which is God. You can change your life around. That's what they're telling you. And what happened? This means that it is possible to overcome and transcend any and all forms of what? Negativity or evil actions from the past. You can make do. You can make it better. And this exalted vision of life is not merely what? A myth. That's not the myth. Inspired by superstitions or phantasm? No, but was the basis of ancient Egyptian society, which allowed the what? The construction of the most extensive and longest running civilization in history. ancient Egyptian dynastic civilization existed. You ready? Existed for over 5,000 years. And newsflash, no other civilization in history can compare to that record. That's why I do what I do from these guys. Why? They're the originators. And what made the ancient Egyptians great? It was the spiritual basis of society as a whole, which was rooted in Shita Netta, spiritual values, and Mayat virtue. They gave you options to live, and that's what they did across the board. A person may be ordered to be obedient. Yeah, okay, to follow rules, as they got the law set for, etc. Yeah. However, since there are so many laws, again, in society, why then is that there is increasing crime and increasing strife amongst our people today? Why is there enmity? Enmity means constant back and forth. Okay, we got fans of sports. Enmity means if I'm a Giant fan, you're a Jet fan, I'm a Yankee fan, you're a Met fan, we're going to go back and forth. That's enmity. And it's harmless to a degree, but when it becomes hostile and violent, that's usually how it ends up. Why? Because emotions, they can't control it. Okay, that's the problem. That's why so much in the world, and it's everywhere. Okay, we have world games where everybody, yeah, I just laugh at that nonsense now. I've been part of that. I was been the high point of my life at one time was the Super Bowl that the Giants won. That's a low bar, excuse me, but move on. But I thought that was just the greatest thing because I was a football fan. So as a fan, you reach the level. Okay, moving on. Sorry about that. But why? Okay, why? There is desire. Why is there desire to hurt others? Again, enmity. Why is there a desire to misappropriate the property of others? Ask that other guy. That's what he does. Anger and hatred cannot be stopped by simply telling someone to be good. Loving, forgiving, and so on. Really? Okay, we tried. And one cannot become righteous by being ordered to or forced to. You couldn't have people build you a pyramid by force. No more than a plant can be forced to grow. Bear fruit or flowers through what? A command by the farmer or the dictator. One can be compelled to follow rules. You know what's going to happen if you don't. But this does not mean that one is necessarily a virtuous person. What you mean? Okay, right quick. Wrapping it up. Many people do not commit crimes, and that's cool. And yet they are not virtuous. Why? Because they are harboring hateful thoughts, violence. They got qualities. They heighten violence, hatred, greed, lust, etc. I mean, the ego is at the bottom of it. And watch this. And in their hearts, virtue is a profound quality which every human being has the potential to manifest. Here we go. Why? Because it is the innate nature of the innermost reality within who? Every human being. Every human being, your choice. This is because the innermost self of every person is divine, God. However, the revelation of this truth requires what? Self-effort, work on what? The part of you, the individual, as well as what? The correct guidance, whoever is teaching you. Make sure you're getting a good teacher. We dealt with that already. Why? Because virtue is like a flower, which can grow and become beautiful for the whole world to see. However, just as a plant must receive what? The proper nutrients. The soil got to be right. The water supply got to be there. Sunlight got to be on it, etc., to make it happen. Learning thyself is pretty much the same way. Somebody teaches, you learn, you implement it, and you get it. So too, the human heart must receive proper caring and nutrients in the form of what? Love, wisdom, proper diet, and daily meditation, and we call goodwill or selfish service. Even if you had trouble in your upbringing, the dad wasn't there, whatever, maybe your parents did not love you. Okay, you was in an orphanage. Oh, that's fine, but that don't dictate who you become, or were not present in your life, or you were hurt by others. Yeah, it's a lot of that going on here. I ain't gonna deal with that nonsense. But you realize that all those things can be what? Resolved. And you can what? Move forward in your life. And then you will personally discover compassion, empathy. You'll be able to show love. You help healing other people. And you become a nurturer and a teacher. Why? Because the family of righteous people and God all become one. Why? Because they know thyself. So that's the name of the game. That's what's going to save all your. You want the cure for all your ills? Know yourself. It's taking care of mine. I got some, but I healing myself. That's what you do when you know yourself. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with more. It took a little while, but hope you got the point. And in closing, right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that you guys have passed away. I'll be back with some adversities in life.